Hello, hello, hello. Um, whether anyone's there or whether anyone's not there, that's fine. Doesn't matter because this video will be available. Um, hello and welcome. I hope everybody's feeling good. Everybody's feeling enjoying the sunshine. In the UK, it's absolutely baking hot, which I love. We don't get that often in this country, so it's nice to be able to enjoy it. Got the window open, got some nice air breezing through. Day. And what an Easter weekend. Normally, bank holiday weekends usually are filled with rain and misery, but so far this particular season, it's fine. We finally got a bit of nice sunshine to enjoy and have great weather. So I'm definitely going to enjoy it the best I can. And for those who celebrate, I'm sure that most of you do one way or the other, will enjoy eating their Easter eggs, tomorrow morning. I've eaten some already, but then again, I've got quite a few for different reasons. On that note, I'm going to be releasing. I'm working on it at the moment. Done all the videoing, but I just need to edit it. But I've actually done an Easter video, which I'm hoping to release tomorrow, Sunday the 20. Sunday the 21st. There you go. Sunday the 21st, April 2019. So if that's gone, then obviously you've missed that part. But we're releasing that tomorrow. Did a little project where I thought I'd have a bit of fun with an Easter egg, making a Velociraptor bursting out of an Easter egg, which I'm going to show you some aspects of that in a moment. So that'll be released tomorrow. So look out for that. But today I thought it'd be quite fun. In fact, one thing before I go into that, last few weeks I've been drawing either Draw Jazzer stuff or spaceships. So I thought this week, with the Easter weekend, I'd be a bit different and do something Easter themed. And I'll go into more details as it goes along. As usual, if you are here for the first time, you like what you like art, or you like watching art, or you like the process of creating art and having fun with it, do feel free to give us a quick like if you like this video and subscribe for any future videos. Long term, I hope to do some more random ones, maybe even take suggestions from viewers, but that's sometime in the future. I'm not quite there yet. But do feel free to chat in, make any comments in chat. I'd love to hear from you guys who are watching. And if you do want to be notified of any videos when they become live, or when I'm doing a live stream like I'm today, then hit the little notification bell, and that will send you little alerts depending on how you've got it set up on your YouTube channel. So without further, let's get into this today. Right, so let me move my sign out of the way. It's going to be a very short stream today because I've got a family event in about an hour or so. So it will be a very, very short stream, but hopefully the picture I'm going to do won't take that long anyway. So I'm going to restart my coffee. It's all mushy and not quite mixed properly. One second, sorry. Sorry. Right. So this is, as I said, for the video tomorrow, this was my concept drawing. In fact, let me try and bring just a touch. This is my concept drawing for the Easter egg that I was creating. Basically, I took an Easter egg you buy from the normal shop, made a few breaks in it, and then put a little dinosaur inside it. That was sort of the plan anyway. That was sort of the goal. And this was the concept idea of that piece. It came out exactly like this, and it looks exactly like this particular dinosaur. If you believe that, well. But it came out well. I mean, for attempt, it came out pretty well. And I won't show the actual picture now. You'll have to wait for the video to come out, which will be tomorrow. I'm not sure what time tomorrow, but it'll be sometime tomorrow it'll come out. Might even come out tonight if I can do the video editing in time. But off the back of that, I thought today would be a good day to do an Easter related thing. And I think I need to adjust the camera slightly because I was thinking I was doing it landscape. I realised I needed to have it so that you can get a full page. So let me just make sure that this looks okay. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit because I'm worried that it's going to take over the microphone sound. So as nice as those tunes are, it's difficult to know sometimes whether they are, you know, taken away from the actual sound. Right. Let me just make sure this camera's. I want to make sure you can see everything I'm drawing, so you're not looking at a blank screen or half a screen. Yeah. The connection on my Mac is pretty slow. I think that's enough. Yeah, I think that's all right. Okay, so right now I've already got the concept in mind. I already know what it's going to look like, what the drawing is going to be, but I don't know how it's going to turn out because I'm going to vary it a little bit because I've also grown in some certain skills since the last time I drew it. So I did this one that I've done a few years ago where it's a rabbit holding an Easter egg. And I just want to get the pose right first before I do the egg. So the egg will be the last thing I'll do. I mean, I'll place it, but the egg is going to be the last thing I'll do because I want to get the character's pose right first. So the first thing is he's going to be leaning backwards. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to gesture it out. I say it's going to be a very different bunny than the ones I've done, but it's still going to have the same theme on it. And there's going to be a bit of weight because he's obviously carrying a massive egg. That's the arm up there. And then the other one to be round about there. And then he's got his hand. Right, is this going to work? Okay, so that's where the base of the egg is going to be there. So that arm is not quite where I want it. And I don't know, this arm needs to be not so tall either, not so long. Trying to work this out. Because I don't want the arm to be too big. I think it's going to be about there. Yeah, I think that's going to be good enough. And then his neck's going to be here. And head about there. So I think I've got the general posture. So let's just refine it a little bit so that it's at the very least clearer for you guys to see, if nothing else. So his neck there. That's one arm. Second arm. Now don't need to detail the second arm too much because you're not going to see it anyway, but it just needs to be in the right place. And his paws. That's his back. His little tushy. It's going to be round about here. Now I am aware obviously rabbits don't have human feet, so that's something I will take into consideration. But I just want to get the general sort of pose right first. And obviously they're not going to be muscly either. Makes a change not doing Jazza pictures, isn't it? Not that it was a bad thing. It was just it's just that they were projects I was working on. You know, it's really hard actually doing animal legs because you're aware of how when you get aware of how the muscles go, you kind of you want to put that into the animal. It's like, well, animals don't have muscles in the same way that human beings do. They do have them, you know, they do exist, but they're not the same. But then again, you know, it is a humanish character. This is a cartoon character, so there is a level of. Now, if I was probably drawing an actual rabbit, then I would definitely need to be more anatomically correct on a real rabbit. But as this is more of a cartoon-based rabbit design, I don't have to be quite so, you know, specific. Okay, so there's his chest, and obviously, rabbits have a kind of a white chest. You know, well, not necessarily a white chest, but they have that. Usually, the belly, the belly and chest have a lighter color most of the time. Okay. Now, I was going to make him look like he's struggling and really, you know, I mean, he's struggling, but I was going to make him look a bit like he's annoyed that he's struggling, but I think I'll change that. Okay, so now I've got the posture there. We can add the egg in. I wonder where that all came from. I understand the egg because the egg part of it is about new life. That part I know. You know, the whole egg is, you know, obviously the whole Easter thing originated on, you know, to do with Jesus and the cross and that kind of thing. So I know that. So having the egg is just a representation of new birth, new life. You know, which is, you know, does relate to the whole Jesus thing. The rabbit, though, that I don't get. I must admit, I don't fully understand where the rabbit came into it. Okay, so now I can start shaping it a little bit. Give a little character now. Don't like the idea of having buck teeth on the rabbit. I know rabbits have buck teeth. I'm not quite sold on that, on this particular piece as such. Maybe just slightly, because buck teeth tend to make characters look a bit silly and dumb. You know, like they're stupid. You know what I mean? And I don't want him to look like he's got that "hey, I'm stupid" kind of a persona about him. Let's give him some really interesting looking ears, because I don't want to make him look like Bugs Bunny either. Okay. Now don't forget his tail. Okay, this rabbit is starting to look different. It's very different than the one I've done in the past. But here's where my rabbit is going to differ a bit, because this one is going to be a little. It's not specifically. It's going to be a little Alice in Wonderland-esque, in that he's got a waistcoat. in the version of this I did previously, which I, for the life of me, can't seem to find, he did have some sort of waistcoat. And I want to kind of keep that essence on this one. Okay, right. It's quite quickly, actually. Okay, right. Let's try and define this a little bit before I go to the next level. I say, if you do, if you're watching for the first time, you do want to, by all means watch. But if you're welcome to join in the chat if you wish. I'll try and answer any questions you have, art related, or relate to whatever I'm doing. That is totally fine. Try and also make sure he's cute. He's got a cute face as well, as much as possible. Must admit, trying to make faces look cute is actually quite tricky. Not gonna lie. So I'm just trying to add a little bit of detail now. Not too much, hopefully. At least not at this stage, anyway. Not really feeling the waistcoat as much as I was hoping. Really want the waistcoat to feel like it's sitting on your shoulder, and I don't feel like it is. Is that better? Does feel a little better. And one thing I've learned about adding fur on characters is try to do as little fur lines as possible. It looks much more fluffy when it's not smothered with them. Just carefully position bits. You know what I mean? Because I've done some characters where there's tons of fur, jagged fur. Doesn't always. If you put too many in, it doesn't always play off. Okay, so there's his feet. Quite happy with the pose so far, actually. Okay. Let's take up a notch. Let's get one of the other thicker pencils. Find it. There we are. Let's say. I want the 3B. I want the 2B. To be or not to be? Where are you? There you are. That's the one. Okay. There we go. A nice smiley mouth. There's his little lip. His very little chin. Say, this is so different than the one I did originally. The original version of this, which I wish I could find. I wish I knew where I'd misplaced it, because then I can show you. But the original version of this, which was just a rough, really, was radically different than this one. I'm telling you that now. It was massively different. And I think it took me long to draw it as well. I still think he had that kind of ear, though. I'm glad to say I think I've gotten away from not doing a Bugs Bunny-esque character, which is good. Okay, try to do this without turning the page too much. Actually, normally when I do this, I sort of turn the page all over the place, but I'm trying to do it without doing that if I can. This next bit, I'm not going to have a choice. I have to do it this way, unfortunately. Now there's a slight change in the way I'm drawing the hands, because I'm trying to keep in mind that he's got the egg in front of him. Now I know they don't have opposing thumbs on rabbits, but just so that it looks better when I'm holding it, I'm doing it on this one, but I know they don't normally. At least I don't think so anyway. Maybe I'm wrong. The same goes for this one. I'm just trying to keep in mind that the egg is an oval shape. So ultimately, his hands are going to go around it. In fact, my original version of this egg was massive. My original egg was huge. Huge, 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 huge. This one isn't quite so big, but I think it works. Not quite happy with that tail, actually. Doesn't feel right. Mm-hmm. I'm liking how he's feeling. He is starting to feel like a really interesting character. He might, well, in my opinion, anyway. And again, with the character, he had a bit of a fob watch. This is what I was saying about the Alice in Wonderland thing. It isn't that character, but it would stand to reason that a rabbit that delivers Easter would have some sort of watch, because they would need to know when Easter was there, so they knew when to put the Easter eggs out. So it would make sense. Okay, that the teeth look almost right, I think. Almost getting there. Okay. I think he's coming out quite nicely. Okay, so let's put some kind of patterning on the egg itself. Oops, in fact, let me do just some minor adjustments there. Just smoothing it out. Now I have no idea what pattern I'm going to put on this. It's completely random at the minute. But needless to say, I think it needs to be a very different, variety different patterns, because if people want to colour it in later, he'll have that option. And even with this pattern, I'm still being quite loose with it, because I want to make sure the pattern fits with the. Now this bottom bit, as the angle is going to be changing, I need to make sure that this feels like it's changed as well. Not completely satisfied with this, because I feel like it's making the egg look all one-sided, but it should be this bottom bit will have a different direction on the pattern, which means these lines are probably in the wrong place. So if I change that one to there, this one's slightly more straighter, and straighter still. Get rid of that one entirely. It's not quite there. There we go. Very subtle curve there. And a slight variance there. In hindsight, what I probably should have done was just draw an actual grid on it. That might have been better. Okay, there's looking more overlay, which is good. So taking on my own understanding that I should have done this in the first place, I'm adding that central line in now, just to gauge roughly where the middle should be. Yeah, about there. So I'm getting a little more confident where these lines are going to be now. Okay. So we've got about an hour, and then I'll need to stop. I'm adding an additional line because I'm going to make some sort of pattern on one of those lines on this. But you see how doing helps sell the fact that the egg's not flat. At least that's what I'm hoping anyway. Okay. I think we need one more here. Just so it's balanced out, one there. Okay. So it's not exactly even. I'm not going to worry too much about being even. Although that said, that's very uneven. So let's put another line in the middle there. Just so the balance is a bit better. Won't be perfect, but at least its balance is a bit more accurately. There we go. That feels. There's one there. That's it. Now I'm doing something slightly different here, only because I'm just trying to make sure that the angles are all the right way where possible. In hindsight, maybe that's how I should have done this. It probably doesn't make a lot of sense at the minute, what I'm doing here. But the purpose is to get this kind of zigzag shape. Because when I get that zigzag as correct as I can, There's some fun little additional designs. Right, let's do some, I think, similar here. But this time it's going to be curves. Just so it's not the same pattern and design. But I'm not really stressing about whether these are even or correct or whatever. If I was that worried, I would have done that from the beginning. And I have limited time, so I don't want to sort of drag this on over 2 weeks, especially as it's Easter tomorrow, or this Easter weekend even. And let's put some circles on this one as well, or ovals. Yeah, that's fine. Tell you what, I think this bottom one, this middle now, I've got an idea of it. I think I need to make it so that it's some kind of band across the whole pattern. Because I like this. Heck, I could even put a bow on the front of it. Which is exactly what I think I'm going to do. Now, this wasn't the plan to do it this way, but I think it probably works quite well. I think it will add to the cuteness of the bunny as well, in addition. Yeah, I think that works actually quite nicely as it goes. All right. Let me do one last thing. I think probably the topping of the iceberg. It's a nice star pattern on the top. Not that you can see the star, but you know it's there. Okay, right. Going to do one last penciling, and then I'm going to start looking at inking this in. And that's right, just drop the pencil on the floor and break all the leads inside it. Wicked idea, brilliant. Probably have just broken all the leads. All right, get the old graph gear going. button of the bow. Excuse the airplane or helicopter going past. Do tend to be quite noisy. Bunny. Right, make some slight adjustments just to add a bit of character to these elements, because it's very easy when you're drawing stuff like this to be, particularly for me anyway, to be very, it's got to be straight, accurate and whatever. But sometimes you just got to add a little extra flavour to it. You've got to add a bit of extra character, so it's not just a flat piece of artwork. So what I'm just doing is just adding a little bit of flair to the bow elements. Including the fact that it's got little creases in it. Creases in any kind of material always gives it that, does help sell it a bit, but it's not easy to achieve it. I don't know what everybody's up to this Easter. I actually wanted to go to this thing yesterday, and because of time, I had to sort of abandon the idea. But every year they have this outdoor play at Trafalgar Square. It's like a tradition every year, and it's doing, the cross and stuff like that. It's really good, and I really want to go again this year, but I had to, unfortunately, I had to abandon the idea because time, just doing other things and bits and pieces, took longer than expected. So I wasn't able to really go, which is a shame, because I was going to invite friends and everything else, and there's always next year, but next year's another year away. It's a long time. But that said, on the plus side, looking at it positively, it means I've got quite a few videos ready to rock and roll, including some brand new ones, which is good as well. For starters, I've got my May the 4th Be With You video coming out very soon. I don't think I need to tell you that it's going to come out on the 4th of May. I'm sure you've pretty sussed it out just by the mere mention of that name. So that's that's coming up very, very soon. And also, there was any Game of Thrones fans, there was an exhibition at King's Cross recently, King's Cross in London, that is, where they had the throne and photo opportunity with the throne, the throne of swords or whatever. I'm sure die-hard fans know what that throne's called. I have no clue. I've probably watched about 6, maybe 7 episodes. I have not seen anywhere near enough of the show to know what it's about. Although the only thing that's piqued my interest on the show is the fact that there's dinosaurs in it. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't really care too much about this particular series. But I do think that the throne made out of swords was quite a genius idea, and it's a great idea. So anyway, so I did a little video based on that exhibition. So that's coming out soon. I believe I've set that for Tuesday night at 7:30 UK time. So if you are interested and you're around, do feel free to check that video out. Should be fun. And as I mentioned, I've got all things going well, I'm going to have a dinosaur egg video coming out tomorrow, which is my first attempt at sculpting a video, dinosaur for an egg, for an Easter egg. And how it turns out, I'll let you figure it out. You can decide if it's a success or a failure. I'm not going to tell you. I mean, I've told you already anyway, but if you're watching now, you have to go back to the beginning of the video to know if it was a success or failure, or just wait for the video tomorrow. It's up to you. Well, I'm definitely, where this egg has come out, I'm already feeling good about where this picture is going to turn out in the long run. I just hope that there's enough time in the stream to ink the whole thing in. Okay, so I've got about roughly half an hour left. Not a great deal of time left. Do 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 do. See, all my people, YouTube channels that I follow, all started posting stuff. I was like, I'm busy. You can't watch you right now. I'll tell you, if there's one thing I do like about Thrones, and I say I've not seen enough of it to really understand all the hype and everything else, is the music is brilliant. Whoever composed the music is a genius. It's the music alone makes me interested. I have to be honest. The soundtrack to that show is just amazing. And not all shows have really good music. Some do and some don't. And some shows don't even bother putting music, and I hate that. There are some programs that just do not have any theme tune at all. They just have a little brief 2-second intro and then straight into the story. It's like, really? I find that, personally, I find that kind of irritating. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it so that they can put as much story into the event as possible and this kind of thing, but you've got no theme tune, dude. You've got nothing that sparks a sense of, oh, it's that show, or this is about to start. And I personally prefer, I mean, I suppose everybody's different, but I always personally prefer it when the show has got something. I'm trying to see if I can sort this tail out a bit more. Not perfect, but never mind. I always prefer it when the show's got a theme tune that you can enjoy and whatever. And I can't think, there's been so many shows just literally have that. Heroes is one that had just an intro. However, although with the Heroes one, it did actually, the actual sound, the actual tune was unique enough that it stands out. But still, I would have preferred to have an actual theme tune. Like Arrow doesn't have a theme tune, as far as I'm aware. I mean, in the show, yeah, you got the tunes or whatever, but the actual as far as I know, doesn't really have a distinctive theme tune. And it's things like that that bug me a little. But that's just a personal, you know, a personal gripe, really, I suppose, for want of a better word. But the Game of Thrones, but the fact that Game of Thrones actually have a theme tune and it's a really good theme tune, it sparks interest. Even if you don't know the show, you just hear the tune and you're already kind of, oh, what's that? I always think it's much more impactful if there is something that pulls your attention and says, oh, this is now on. This is an adventure that should be quite good. Now I know this is kind of looking like a muscular rabbit. That's not my intention. I just wanted to make it look like he's got the pose there. I think it's just down to the fact that I've been so busy working on my anatomy that I'm using it in everything I do now. Because I never used to. I mean, I used to get away with it. I used to get away with not fussing too much about making sure the anatomy is 100% correct. You know, I was able to kind of get the point across without having to do that. But there comes a time when you have to kind of bite the bullet and say, okay, I need to learn how to make this work. Now I don't think I'm gonna have time to ink it in. It's already literally half past. I'd like to ink it in before we go, but not sure I'm gonna have enough time to do it. Right, I think I've been able to make those teeth look decent enough. Let's see if these eyes have really made it. I'm not going to put the pupils in until I ink it in, because it doesn't always work when I do that straight off the bat. I think I've messed up the head a little bit there. That's how I feel anyway. Maybe I haven't, but that's how I feel. Just get little curly bits. I mean, all in all, I'm really liking how this guy's coming out. So it's so different from the original concept piece that I did some years ago. I couldn't tell you how long ago because I don't have the I can't find the actual artwork, but once I find it I'll let you know. But this is definitely a very different looking rabbit. Bunny. Why didn't you put the bunny back in the box? Okay. So work done. Okay, so should we be bold and put the line work in? At least some of it. Let me see which one I've got here. That's the dodgy one. Where's the other one? Where is the other one? Yeah. Okay. That's where the concentration comes in now. This is when I get my super silent mode, where I often have to apologize for being silent. But I hope you'll understand why. Especially when it's the really thin bits. And I think I just realised something as well, is that the chin was not quite over enough. Yeah, I'm glad I got rid of those little bits of that were causing a problem. They weren't looking right, but they look better now. I've made a little correction on the neck as well. So I'm getting into the really fine details in a minute. This is the chain of the watch I'm drawing, in case you're not sure, in case you're wondering. I didn't actually pencil this bit in, but I'm doing it now. Which is a bit of a risk. There we go. All right. And a little bit of thickness to the actual waistcoat. Whew. He's turning out to be quite an interesting character. Do. Well, worst case scenario, I can still go until 4:30, but I need to go to the shops before I go to the family event. That's why I need to end at 4. Got about 20, just under 20 minutes left. I'm not going to rush this though, just to do it. I'm still going to take my time, and if I don't finish, I don't finish it. Sadly, I don't think I'm going to colour it before this Easter though. But there's always next year. Quiet, little doggy. Said quiet. I'm getting through it quite quickly, but as I said, I'm not going to rush this. Because I don't want to make a mistake on it. There's no point rushing just to get something done. If you do it, and do it well, take your time. All too often we try to rush things, get things done quickly. And either don't get it done, or worse, it looks terrible and you have to redo it. Because whenever you rush stuff, I know for me, I tend to make more errors when you do that. I'm really not happy with the tail at all. That's the one thing I'm not feeling, and I was trying to fix it just now, and it didn't quite work. All right. Oh, blast! I forgot about the. Well, I'm going to work. I'm going to be widen that up anyway. I forgot about the ribbon. Oops. Thought I was being clever, but I weren't. They do say you're supposed to use the whole arm and do it in one fair stroke, but if there's a break in that, you still got to remember that, and I forgot about that part. Whew. that worked out okay. There's a little bit of a break there. So we've got the bow or the ribbon part, which just breaks that line. There we go. Well, it looks like we might get the inking done, which would be wonderful. Or at least the initial stages of it anyway. Even if I don't do the thick lines on it. If I can, I will. It would be nice if I can. But again, I'm not going to rush it and it done before the end of the stream. It's more important that it looks tidy and neat in the way I envision it. You know what's really weird about these seasons in Easter? I've seen Easter crackers now. So now we've got crackers at Easter, crackers at Christmas, crackers on Halloween. I really don't know why we're crossing over all these different seasons. They were, they're separate seasons, separate holidays, and whoever's marketing these things are marketing them with the same, so it gets very confusing, or potentially very confusing. I mean, Easter crackers, for goodness sake. What? I'm sorry, I can't get my head around this. Why are we changing the way we celebrate these different seasons? I'm all for creativity, because we need to be creative, thinking outside the box. And I don't have a problem with someone being like, for example, if you, instead of a Christmas tree, you're having a spooky tree with bats on it. Okay, I can live with that. But last year they had a Halloween tree with balls, like the Christmas balls. Why are you putting a Christmas thing on a Halloween tree? If you're gonna do it, have bats or balls or something. Do something that's completely random. From Nightmare Before Christmas. Great movie, by the way. Really, really good film. If you haven't watched it, it's an old film, but still definitely one of Tim Burton's classic movies. And even today, it's still revered. Even today, it's still such a classic. I've always seen people wearing T-shirts with skeleton on it or carrying around bags with that. It's still there. And in the story, without spoiling if you haven't watched it, but if you have watched it, don't listen, or haven't watched it, don't listen. But in the story, basically Jack, who is the main character, he's in charge of not marketing. What's the word? He's an event organizer, so to speak. So his job to every year put together a amazing Halloween celebration. And he got a bit disheartened. He felt like it was all the same old thing. He was trying to think of something different, and he stumbled upon Christmas. Now he got the concept, more or less. He kind of understood that it was different, it was jolly, it was happy, but no one else did. And so what he did was he adapted the Christmas holiday into a Halloween themed holiday. It was still Christmas themed, but the difference was it was a bit more, what's the word, grim in nature in the outcome. Although that wasn't really what he wanted to do. He didn't want to do it that way. He wanted to do a proper Christmas the way it was meant to be. But at least with the presents that they gave, and you know, like a snake and this kind of stuff, at least it made sense for Halloween. But having baubles at Halloween, I'm sorry, I couldn't figure that one out. Okay, so we are now 10 minutes to go, so I'm gonna wrap it up very soon. That was a chair, not me. It was the chair. So I've got enough time, I think, to do a quick outline, but I think he's coming off quite well. So let's at least do something to bring this piece out a bit and finish it. Whoops. It's fine if I go over the edge because it's going to be thick anyway. Wasn't quite intending it to be like that, but that's it. Draw around his paws. Because it goes without saying that the egg needs to be the most obvious aspect of this piece, more than indeed the character. Sorry, my chair's making a lot of noise. Don't know why. Don't know why. There we go. Just don't make, I think, stand out. Or the bits that need to stand out, stand out. Okay, that's the egg part done. Do his hands and his arm. Do. Okay, so the only other thing to do is his head. If I'm honest, I still feel this probably could do with a bit better version, but I'm still happy with this particular one. But I think all I'd need to do is just really tweak it a bit. Okay, so that's enough of that level. What time is it now? So 8 minutes. So we're going to do level 5. So slightly less intensive line. Oops. bodged that a bit. I think I'm just trying to rush it, and I don't want to rush it. Okay, and the waistcoat. I don't want to make too many bits too thick, because the purpose of this is to make sure that the lines all sort of is equal depth in each one. Okay, so the next one is 4. So I think the eyes will probably be the next bit. Back of the ear. Okay, and where else? Its body. Inner part of that. And there as well. I think base of the mouth. And number 2. This will be the one I'm going to finish off with. 4 minutes. Sorry, I'm doing a bit of a countdown, but I say I've got very little time left, which is why I didn't want to do a long stream today. But at least I've been able to do one whole piece, which is good. So can't sniff at that really. Could have done with a less creaky chair though. Whoops. Bodged it. Bodged it again. Okay, and inside of the ears, or at least this one anyway. And then the pattern. Now, to be fair, if I had a bit more longer on the stream, I might be able to refine this a bit more than I did, but is what it is. Do 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 do. Seriously, such a nice day out there today. Such a nice day. It's amazing. Okay. Inner part here. And here. Where else? Oh yeah, I know there's a couple of bits. It's this curve. See, a lot of this stuff I can, finish on fixing Photoshop. Especially when it comes to the pattern side of it. Okay, that just leaves one last thing, which is quite important. And it is 2419. And let's erase these pencil lines. I've just seen I've missed one little bit. One tiny bit at the top. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to finish off by just erasing stuff because it's already full. Now I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want to crease the paper. Always a difficult thing to do. Yeah. Oops. Let's flip it round to this other side. And the leg. Ooh. Okay. And there we have it. Easter Bunny. Try and get the light off the thing so you can see it. And there is my Easter Bunny. A bit more racing there. So there you go. Thanks so much for watching. Do appreciate you taking the time to enjoy the channel. Hope you had a good day and evening and the rest of an enjoyable Easter. As I said, there will be a video being released, one tomorrow for Easter, all going well. And the other one will be on Tuesday, which will be a Game of Thrones themed artwork. I say art, well, not so an artwork, exhibition. Tomorrow will be an artwork of sorts. But this is the piece for today. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, if you do want to see more of this and you like this particular video, please click the old like button downstairs, and obviously the subscribe button so you're aware of any videos that become available. And if you want to have a specific notification, just click that little bell button, which will send you an alert to say that I'm going live or I'm going to be releasing a new video. But until then, again, have a lovely Easter. Hope everything goes well for you. And until next time, I will be seeing you. Bye-bye.